There are many advantages to renting equipment, whether it's a skid loader, mini excavator, or even an attachment. The process is much easier than most people think, and it can be done even if you don't own a company. You could just be looking to do a project at your house or to do some side work this weekend. It's pretty easy, and most people don't even consider this an option. If you really think about it, you could be making money in the next week or so. Without the idea of that, without even owning equipment, is pretty crazy. Hey, my name is Chad. This is Excavation Revelation, the place where excavating strategies are revealed and topics are discussed. Today's topic is renting equipment. And we're basically going to look at smaller equipment such as skid loaders, compact track loaders, and also mini excavators. We're also then going to later in the video talk about some different attachments as well and the pros to renting instead of owning, especially when you're first starting out or if you're still trying to find your niche. Easy. First, you want to start out by contacting your local dealerships, whether they're Bobcat, Caterpillar, John Deere, Case, Takeuchi, whoever. Just call around, see what's closest, and find out what the rates are. Most of them will be willing to either tell you over the phone or they can even email you a spreadsheet of what their rates are. I have one here just as an example for Bobcat. I blurred out the numbers. I probably could have posted them, but I wasn't sure what the process was. I just didn't want to get in any trouble. So just to be fair to them, I just thought it was best to blur them out. But I'll go over a little bit with an example here in a minute. But you can rent these machines pretty easily. First, you just need to call them up, see what the rates are. Most of these places have insurance built in. That's the thing that people worry about the most, is insurance, liability, and whatnot. But most of them have it built in with their pricing. There are taxes that go along with this, so keep that in mind when you see the base rate. You have to consider taxes as well. And also, you need to consider fuel, what fuel consumption you're going to go through. So when you price these jobs out, make sure you're giving yourself room for fuel, because when you rent these machines, you're going to return them full of fuel, because that's how they're going to come to you. So whatever machine, whatever skid loader you're looking to rent, find out what size, find out what period you want to use it for. Now, just as an example, just say, I'm just going to pick a skid loader or a track loader here, a 770. Now, I'm just going to say these numbers. They're not exactly what the rates are, but just to give you an example. Say it's $300 to rent this for a day. If you rent it for a week, then it'll be $900. Or if you want to rent it for a whole month, the price would be $2,700. So basically how this works is it's based off of an 8-hour workday. 1 day of rental is based off of 8 hours on the machine. A week is 40. In a month, they base it off of 40 hours for 4 weeks. But the longer you rent the machine, the more of a bargain, you could say, or the more of a deal you're going to get. You're not going to be spending that $300 each and every day for that machine if you rent it for a month. If you plan ahead and rent it for a month from the get-go, that rate is going to diminish greatly. I haven't done the math exactly, but it's going to be a lot less than $300 a day. For example, if you're renting it for 3 days at the daily rate, that would be $900. At that point, it would have made more sense to just get the weekly rental. You could have had it for $900, and you would have an extra day with it. So make sure you're taking time to consider how long you're going to be using the machine for when you book it for rental. You want to always call ahead to make sure that it's available and it's planned out. Some of these machines, there's a high demand for. I know forestry mulchers in my area, they're highly sought after, so I have to call ahead pretty far in advance to rent one of them. But it can be done. You just got to coordinate a little bit, and it can be done pretty easily. So plan ahead. You can even knock out a couple jobs with this machine. Like I said, it's usually more beneficial to have it for a longer period of time, but sometimes you only need it for a day, and that works just as well too. They can also deliver the machine sometimes straight to your job site, so you don't have a truck or trailer. They can bring it right to you for a fee. I've done this a few times just when time was a little bit tight. They just brought it out for me. I got done with it, called them up, they picked it up, just paid a little bit more, but I built that all in my pricing. I still made a profit at the end of the job. So this can be done, like I said, pretty easily. Just call around to your local dealerships, find out what the rates are, and see which one is best for you. As far as attachments, it's kind of like the saying years ago, there's an app for that. Well, you'll soon find out that there is pretty much an attachment for everything, and it doesn't pay to own every single one. First of all, you're going to have a lot of expense. Some of these attachments are pretty pricey, and also they're going to take up a lot of room around your shop, around your yard. They take up some space. So sometimes it's pretty beneficial to just go ahead and rent one. Rock hounds, landscape rakes are pretty common. A grapple is pretty common. Something like a pallet fork you could use, but more often than not, they're not as expensive. It might just be better for you just to buy a set of pallet forks, then you'll have it. But something that's more expensive that you're just going to use here and there, it's definitely going to be better to rent. Also, an advantage to renting is if you're trying to see how an attachment works or see if you like it. Now, on the flip side of that, most people don't know, you can also demo machines, you could demo attachments. A couple years ago, I demoed a Blue Diamond brush hog. It was about $8,000, and I was really pretty set on buying this attachment. So I called the dealer up. They said, yeah. They made sure I was serious about it, and they said, yeah, we'll bring it out to you. You can have it for 3 days. They brought it to me, dropped it off. 3 days later, they came and picked it up. No fees charged. And I did really like it. I was really impressed with what it did. It ran awesome. It met my needs, and I was really looking to buy one. But a little bit of time went by, a couple weeks, and I got thinking about the price, and it just wasn't quite in the budget at the time. But I just happened to get on Facebook Marketplace one day and look for a brush cutter, and I found one, a different brand, but it was a lot cheaper, and it was local. So I ended up going that route, and I called the dealership back then and said, hey, sorry. I ended up getting a brush hog on Facebook, but that was not my intent. I didn't mean to do that to them and to get a... You don't want to abuse the system either. You don't want to say you're demoing a machine or an attachment and just use it knowing that you're just going to use it to get that job done and nothing else. They're going to catch on to that, and it's very poor on your part. It's not good morals, and it really hurts your relationship. So just keep in mind, you can't demo a machine if you are sincerely, truly looking to purchase it. You just want to see how it works, see if it's the right fit for you. Same thing with an attachment. But like I was just explaining on Facebook Marketplace, there are many, many attachments out there. So maybe renting one from a dealership is a good start for you. You can see if it's going to benefit your business or benefit your line of work. And then at that point, since you can't demo on Facebook Marketplace, you can just contact who's ever selling it and then buy one. You already kind of are used to it. You know what to expect, know what to look for. You're used to running it. One other big advantage to renting a machine or an attachment is when you're starting out, you're not necessarily sure exactly what your niche is. You're not sure if you're going to like certain work better than other jobs, essentially. Some guys like to just stick with property maintenance, land management. They like to just get the forestry mulchers, the grapples, stay in the woods more. Other guys are more apt to landscaping, like I mentioned, the rock hound, the power rake. So they would be more apt to running or using those machines and attachments. So kind of get a feel for it by renting before you go all gung-ho and buy and all these attachments and things. It's a good way to feel the waters and see what you really want to get into. Another thing with attachments, say you have a Caterpillar skid loader and you call up their dealership to get a rock hound, and for some reason they don't have one available when you need it. You can also cross over to Bobcat or Case and use one of their attachments. These machines are designed to fit each other most of the time. There's always a different case, especially if you got more hydraulics, as far as like a stump grinder or something, that the hydraulics aren't going to be exactly plumbed for your machine. So always check into that. It's best to use cat attachments with Caterpillar machines or case attachments with case machines, etc. But you can cross attachments sometimes if you need to. I know a while ago I have a Bobcat and I borrowed a Caterpillar Rockhound. It fit on my machine fine, but one thing I realized, it was actually kind of too late before I realized that when I would go to open up the Rockhound to dump the rocks out, it would put pressure on my quick couplers, the connection, and I ended up cracking my one female adapter line on my Bobcat. Just the way it was designed, that it would just pinch more than I realized, and it caused a slight leak for me, but it was nothing too major. But most of the time, you're better off staying Caterpillar with Caterpillar because the attachments are designed and spec'd to fit their machines, but you can cross over and you can use different attachments on a different brand machine if you need to. But just be very aware of what you're doing and check with the dealership as far as their recommendation too in this process. It's just something you can consider. Well, I hope this video was informative. If so, I really appreciate some feedback. If you like it, or just leave a comment about something you've rented or advice you got before about rentals. But I strongly encourage you to consider renting machines, especially before you buy them or before you really start out. It's a really great way to get a feel for them and to get a feel for the line of work that you want to get into. So call around, contact your dealerships, see what the rates are. With a little bit of planning, you can rent these machines. You don't even have to have a truck or trailer. They'll bring them right to you. You can do a job, make profit, and then at the end of the job, you can send the machine right back to them. One other quick disclaimer: when you are renting these machines, make sure when you get them that you're looking them over well. Maybe do a quick video, quick picture, walk around. If there is anything that you're worried about getting in trouble for, as far as a cracked window or a worn out track, something, you want to make sure you document it before you even run it. And then always let them know if you do something, any damage to the machine. You want to establish a relationship with the dealership, and this is going to go a long way. You want to take care of it. You want to make sure it's cleaned up and nice and neat when you return it. You want to also make sure the tracks are clean. It's the golden rule, essentially. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. You want to have this machine in the same shape when you got it as you return it, or even better. You want to go above and beyond. You want to make sure this machine is taken back in a good manner. You want to establish these good relationships with your dealerships, and if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. It's a good process, and it's a good way to go about doing business. You don't want to burn any bridges. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. Also, one other thing, when you are renting a machine, I ran into this the very first time I rented a forestry mulcher. I overestimated how long it would, I should say I underestimated how long it would take to do the project. I ended up putting 10 hours on the machine, and I only had it rented for a day for an 8-hour rental. But the dealership did give me a little bit of leeway. They said it's your first time. They understood that. The machine also overheated on me once or twice because I was really pushing it. I was going up a steep hill, working it hard, and I had to stop and let it cool down. And I made sure I expressed this to them, that the machine overheated some, and they could get in the system and document that that happened. So they were nice enough and worked with me. They didn't charge me an additional day's rental for that first time, even though I went over the rental by 2 hours. You want to keep that in mind too. If you do happen to go over your time for your rental, even if it's just by an hour or two, they're not going to charge you by an hour or two. They're going to charge you by the day or by the week or however you have it rented. So keep that in mind as a precaution. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time.